Hello everyone, my name is Zora and welcome back to another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to the full trailer for Jurassic Series Season 4. If you remember last time we reacted to the teaser trailer for Jurassic Series Season 4. Now we're reacting to the full trailer for Jurassic Series Season 4. Fun fact, Season 4 is going to be the last season of Jurassic Series. I mean, love this show. I've watched it like many times. Yeah. Oh, and Scooby's back as well. Scooby, say hi. Say hi. Say hi. Scooby. If you're wondering why this part is wet, it's because he's got an ear infection and my parents are trying to find a good doctor for him. I mean, I think they found one, but they're still trying to cure him of this infection. Yeah. So as always, I'll be reacting to this trailer and breaking it down scene by scene, looking at a few Easter eggs and details you might have missed in this trailer. And also let me know in the comments if you want me to include Scooby in more videos, because you guys seem to really like him. But without further ado, let's jump straight in.
Welcome to Biosyn Valley.
After everything we've been through, you still really love dinosaurs.
We found where they're training the dinos.
Why is Biosyn doing this?
Because they're evil.
Some mysteries should stay locked up.
Doctor Who.
Get us out of here! Hold on to your butts!
Classic.
Uh-oh. Looks like someone needs a visit from the Huggy Wuggy monster.
That's not normal behavior, right?
Not at all.
Run, Smoothie!
We got this. You taught us well, Dino Nerd.
Wait. We got it.
Hang on!
Are you kidding me?
None of us would be in this mess if it wasn't for you.
Biosyn needs to be stopped.
Prepare for impact in 5, 4, 3, 2.
1. Oh, they're dead. Boy, that's scary. Oh, that was epic. Alright, now that we've reacted to the trailer, let's break it down. As always, I put it on mute so we can break it down a bit better. The trailer opens with the new Blood 6 in one of their Biosyn research outposts. If any of you have watched Jurassic Dominion, you might remember the Biosyn research outposts that were in Biosyn Valley. I think they were used by scientists so that they can study the dinosaurs and learn about their behavior and whatnot. Yeah, I think. Yeah, and as the new Blood 6 enter the research outpost, they hear a stomping noise coming from the roof. And we see the Quetzalcoatlus looking down at the group through the window. And fun fact, Quetzalcoatlus did actually live with T-Rex. And after the giant Asdarkid takes a good look at them, it uses its giant beak to break the glass so it could grab one of the campers. Then we see a shot of the Biosyn helicopter entering Biosyn Valley, which is actually a very similar shot seen in Jurassic World Dominion, where Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler entered as where Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler enter Bison Valley via helicopter. We see this giant dam that's separating this icy biome where the Pyraptor resided in Jurassic World Dominion from Bison Valley. And we also see a few research outposts. We see this one and this one. I think there are a few over there, I don't know. And then we see Darius looking out the window, and he sees 2 Brachiosauruses, 2 Stegosauruses, and 5 Parasaurolophuses. This is actually a reference to Jurassic World Dominion, where Alan Grant looks out the window of a Bison helicopter and sees a Dreadnoughtus eating in a lake. Then Brooklyn becomes enlightened and says that after everything they've been through, Darius still loves dinosaurs. Hey, both Darius and I have a lot in common. We love dinosaurs. Yeah, we love dinosaurs. That's something we have in common. Then we see this Atrociraptor, which we see this Atrociraptor, which looked like Ghost but isn't, jumping up and breaking the glass. Very similar to what the Indominus Rex tried to do in Jurassic World, and we see this other Atrociraptor jumping in the background. Now, as I stated in my teaser trailer breakdown, this could be a flashback, which makes sense since flashbacks are common in the Jurassic franchise. I mean, we saw a flashback showing the D-Rex. We saw a flashback scene in Jurassic World Rebirth where the D-Rex attacked the scientists, and we saw a few flashbacks in Jurassic World Chaos, and we saw a few flashback scenes in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous showing Darius spending some father-son bonding time with his dad. However, this is unlikely to be a flashback scene since we already know Ghost is dead and Red, Tiger, and Panthera reside in Ulta. These are new breeds of Atrociraptors. Yeah. Then we see the Beckel Spinax make a return. Fun fact: it was confirmed. Fun fact: it was revealed in Jurassic World Chaos Series Season 3 that the Beckel Spinax did reside in the Bison Valley. And then we see a trio of very evil Bison scientists wearing the same uniform. The Bison scientists, we see a trio of Bison scientists wearing the same uniforms the Bison scientists wore in Jurassic World Dominion, and they were actually the same uniforms Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler wore to get a sample of DNA from a locust. And it looks like these Bison scientists have a villainous look on their face, meaning they're probably after the campers. Then we see Dr. Henry Wu. A lot of debate. A lot of people are wondering who is voicing Dr. Henry Wu in this show. A lot of people are saying Greg Chun is voicing Dr. Henry Wu because, fun fact, Greg Chun did actually voice Dr. Henry Wu in Jurassic Camp Cretaceous. However, a lot of other people are saying B.D. Wong. Actually, a lot of people are saying B.D. Wong is voicing Dr. Henry Wu in this show, which makes sense since B.D. Wong did play Dr. Henry Wu in Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Jurassic World Dominion. And Dr. Wu's appearance in this show looks very similar to his appearance in Jurassic World Dominion. Then we see a video showing a bison scientist injecting some sort of serum into a dinosaur egg. This is actually a reference to one of the Velociraptor scenes in the Michael Crichton Jurassic Park novel, where Alan Grant comes face to face with 3 velociraptors, and in that scene he injects a poisonous serum in a dinosaur egg so that once a velociraptor eats the egg, it will become poisoned and die. And then we see Rexy, the best one of the coolest T-Rexes in the Jurassic franchise. Fun fact, if you remember, if any of you guys have watched my Jurassic Cast series Season 1 trailer reaction and breakdown video, you might recall that you might remember that I stated that the T-Rex in the Jurassic Cast series Season 1 trailer, it was actually Rexy, but I was wrong. It was actually Big Edie. So yeah, we see Rexy here. And it looks like Rexy's going face to face, and it looks like Rexy's coming face to face with 2 Atrociraptors, meaning he probably will pull off a similar stunt seen in Jurassic Park. She'll probably kill these 2 Atrociraptors, similar to how she killed the 2 Velociraptors in Jurassic Park. She'll probably kill this one with her jaws, and she'll probably kill this other one by grabbing it in her jaws and tossing it somewhere, like on a tree or something. And when Darius asks Kenji to get them out of Bison headquarters, Kenji says, "Hold on to your butts," which is actually what Ray Arnold said in Jurassic Park. Then we see Rexy chasing down the Bison car the Nublar 6 are in, meaning she probably will still be a threat in this show, just like how she was a threat in Jurassic Camp Cretaceous. However, she probably won't be that big of a threat since she will be going up against these 2 Atrociraptors. Then we see Rodan, the Quetzalcoatlus. Yes, I'm naming this Quetzalcoatlus Rodan. We see Rodan, the Quetzalcoatlus, chasing after. We see Rodan, the Quetzalcoatlus, chasing this Bison helicopter. This Bison helicopter probably is housing Darius, Ben, Yaz, and Brooklyn. Now, meaning this Quetzalcoatlus might attack this helicopter, and maybe the helicopter will crash down on Bison Valley, and that's probably how Darius, Ben, Yaz, and Brooklyn will end up in the valley. I don't know how they would survive this encounter since this beast actually took down a C-119 boxcar easily in Jurassic World Dominion. I mean, it was like the size of a kaiju. I mean, he was like this. I mean, Rhoda and the Quetzalcoatlus in Jurassic World Dominion. He was actually able to take down a C-119 boxcar with ease in Jurassic World Dominion. So they probably will have a hard time surviving. So maybe Darius, Ben, Yaz, and Brooklyn will have a hard time surviving their first encounter with the Quetzalcoatlus. Fun fact: this is actually this will actually be the third appearance of the Quetzalcoatlus, because the Quetzalcoatlus did first appear in Jurassic World Dominion, then it reappeared in Jurassic World Rebirth. Now it's gonna be making its third appearance in Jurassic World Chaos Theory Season 4. Then we see Rexy looking down at Sammy through a wet car window. This is actually a reference to the scene in Jurassic Park where Rexy looked down at Lex and Tim through a wet car window and was looking really menacingly at them. Then we see a Pachycephalosaurus. Then we see a Pachyrhinosaurus bashing its head against this bison car, which could explain why this car was toppled over in the teaser trailer we reacted to earlier. Then we see Smoothie, Bumpy's baby. Fun fact: it was revealed that Bumpy was in Bison Valley, and Smoothie will probably reunite with his mom, Bumpy. Fun fact: he does look similar to Baby Bumpy in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, Season 1. Yeah, and he looks really cute. I mean, look at that beanie. Look at that cute little teddy bear beanie. Then we see Kenji. Then we see Kenji holding Smoothie in his hands, and it looks like this scene takes place. It looks like Sammy, Kenji, and Smoothie are in the Bison Hyperloop pod. You can tell by the Bison chairs, the white shiny environment, this pad over here, the fire extinguisher, and the flashing lights in the background, meaning they probably will end up in the Amber Mines and come face to face with the Dimetrodon. Then we see Brooklyn and Darius looking at something. Brooklyn asks Darius if what they're seeing is normal behavior. And Darius says it's not normal behavior at all, meaning they're probably looking at a dinosaur that's acting funky. They're probably looking at a dinosaur that's acting weird. I don't know. Hopefully, maybe the dinosaur is playing on its PlayStation 5. No joke, sorry. Then we see one of my favorite dinosaurs. I say one of my favorites because the Velociraptor is my other favorite. But this is one of my favorite dinosaurs. The Dilophosaurus. Yeah, I have two favorite dinosaurs: the Velociraptor and the Dilophosaurus. Yeah, we see one of my favorite dinosaurs, the Dilophosaurus, in this scene, and it looks very similar to what it used to look like in Jurassic Park. It looks like this will be its 5th appearance, because the Dilophosaurus first appeared in Jurassic Park, then it reappeared in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous, then it reappeared in Jurassic World Dominion, then it reappeared in Jurassic World Rebirth. Now it's making its 5th appearance in Jurassic World Chaos Theory. So yeah, this is probably so this is actually so this is probably the Jurassic Park area. Yeah, I mean yeah. I know there was a hologram of a Dilophosaurus in Jurassic World, but I'm not counting that since it appeared as a hologram and it wasn't the real thing. And I don't count things that are dead I don't count things that are and I don't count things and I don't count creatures that appear as dead animals or statues or something. Then we see Sammy and Kenji and Smoothie running away from this pack of Dilophosauruses. Then we see Smoothie hiding from a Dilophosaurus in this crevice, this little area. Then but then he becomes a brave little Ankylosaurus and he fights back. Oh, that is absolutely brave of him. Man, Bumpy would be proud of him. That is actually funny. I didn't think a baby dinosaur would be able to defend itself. But it's still an impressive feat. Yeah, I think this could... Yeah, this actually might be a reference to a scene in Jurassic World Camp Cretaceous Season 2 where baby Bumpy saves Ben from a pack of compies and protects him and herself from them. Then we see Wolverine, the Therizinosaurus. Yes, I'm calling him Wolverine because he has 3 long claws, just like Wolverine. Well, 3 on each hand. He has 6 long claws, just like Wolverine. We see Wolverine, the Therizinosaurus, in a flaming environment, and here we see Darius and Kenji helping Ben. It looks like Ben is injured. Maybe Wolverine, the Therizinosaurus, used his claws to slice at Ben's leg. Then we see one of the burning locusts come crashing down to the floor, and the way it actually crashes down is similar to an asteroid. Then we see Darius and the rest of the gang sneakily walk to a bison car, and are trying to avoid being detected by a pair of Pachyrhinosaurus. Fun fact: I think it was confirmed that Pachyrhinosaurus will be in. I think it was revealed that Pachyrhinosaurus was in Bison Valley. I don't know. And it looks like this takes place, and then the group hears some stomping noises, and it looked like Smoothie's getting really scared. Then we see Rexy appear from the tree, and then she chases them down. Then we see Godzilla, the Giganotosaurus. Yeah, I'm calling him Godzilla because he looks very similar to Godzilla. Because he looks very similar to the 1998 Godzilla scene in Godzilla 1998. Because he looks very similar to the Godzilla scene in Godzilla 1998. Anyway, Godzilla, the Giganotosaurus, chases down the truck the Nublar 6 are in. Now, before we continue, it looks like all these scenes take place at the exact same time, meaning this could either be episode 1 or it could be episode 2. I'm not entirely sure. And then we see the Quetzalcoatlus. Then we see Rodan the Quetzalcoatlus picking up then we see the Quetzalcoatlus picking up this Biosyn car. This is highly inaccurate because Quetzalcoatluses aren't able to pick up something heavy like a car. Just like how Pteranodons can't pick up something like a human, Quetzalcoatluses couldn't pick up something like a car. Because they don't have the strength. They need yeah. Then we see Sammy, Yaz, Darius, and Kenji being surrounded by a group of Atrociraptors. Again, these are not Red, Ghost, Panther, and Tiger. These are a different breed of Atrociraptors. However, it looks like the car it looked like they're next to a car which looks like a Fiat 500, the same car that Ben's girlfriend Gia had, which means Gia could probably make a return, probably at the end of the season. I'm not too sure. Then we see Darius trying to scare away one of the Atrociraptors with his stun pod, very similar to one of earlier seasons. Then we see Sammy aiming Brooklyn for all the trouble they've been through, which, I mean, she kind of has a point. I mean, she did leave them behind, and ever since she did that, Sammy and Kenji became really furious. Maybe in this season, Sammy, Kenji, and Brooklyn won't be on speaking terms, like how Kenji and Darius weren't on speaking terms. And then we see Brooklyn feeling really sad because she feels like she let her friends down. Betrayal is actually something seen in a lot of Jurassic films. I mean, Ken Wheatley betrayed Owen Grady, Claire Dearing, Franklin Webb, and Zia Rodriguez in Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and Ramsey Cole and Dean Malcolm betrayed Dodgson in Jurassic Dominion. However, betrayal is also something seen in other movies and TV shows. I mean, Iron betrayed Sonic in Sonic Prime. Robotnik betrayed Sonic in Sonic 3. But Robotnik also did betray... Robotnik did betray Gerald Robotnik. But Ivo did betray his grandfather Gerald Robotnik in Sonic 3. And Shadow also betrayed Gerald Robotnik in Sonic 3. And then Robotnik betrayed Knuckles in Sonic 2. So yeah, betrayal is something seen in a lot of movies and TV shows. Then we see the feet of a dinosaur in some sort of facility. I don't know where this takes place. It could be like a medbay of some sort, like something similar seen in Manicorp Island in Jurassic Camp Cretaceous. Manicorp. Of the feet of this dinosaur do look like the feet of a T-Rex. This probably isn't Rexy. This is probably either the buck or the doe T-Rex, because we know the buck and doe T-Rexes did live in Biosyn Valley. However, this also could be Big Edie, because if Big E, however, this could also be Little Edie, because if Big Edie showed up in Jurassic Cast 3, then there's a chance that Little Edie might show up in Jurassic Cast 3. Then we see Dodge Sin looking at some cage. Then we see Dodge Sin looking at some dinosaur kept in a cage. Then we see Ben dropping down a burning match on a table which has like a tape recorder on it, but there are like car tracks over here. And then we see Arius, Ben, Yaz, and Brooklyn in the Bison helicopter looking scared, meaning the Quetzalcoatlus is getting ready to attack. They probably are gonna be in a tough situation, because if the Quetzalcoatlus can take down a C-119 boxcar airplane easily, then it might be able to take down this helicopter, this Bison helicopter. Then we see Yaz. Climbing this ladder, and we see Godzilla the Giganotosaurus getting ready to attack her. Yes, I changed his name to Godzilla, as he looks like Godzilla. I did call him Gary in my teaser trailer breakdown, but I'm now naming him Godzilla because he looks like Godzilla with those spines and stuff. But yeah, we see Yaz climbing this ladder, and then we see Godzilla the Giganotosaurus getting ready to eat her, which is very similar to the scene in Jurassic World Dominion where Maisie climbs a ladder, and then Godzilla the Giganotosaurus tries to eat her while she's climbing the ladder. And then we see Darius, Kenji, Yaz, Sammy, and Brooklyn in some sort of garage, and it looks like they're looking at something that has completely caught them off guard. Then we see Godzilla the Giganotosaurus roaring, and here we see a Bison car, headlights, and a fence, and some fences, meaning this beast is being contained in a cage of some sort, and it looks like it's getting ready to fight, and it looks like he's getting ready to fight some sort of dinosaur. Then we see Brooklyn on an upside down Bison car, and she's looking at a stampede, and she's looking at a dinosaur stampede, and her fists are turning into open palmed hands, meaning, and it looks like she has no weaponry here, so she'll probably fall off this truck, and she'll probably get trampled, because it has been theorized someone will die in this season. Then we see the Quetzalcoatlus letting go of the Bison car, and it's letting the Nublar 6 fall down to their deaths. This is actually very scary. I think they're gonna... this is actually gonna be really scary. I mean, if I was in a car and I was getting picked up by some sort of pterosaur, I would actually be terrified. I'd be screaming. And then we see the Jurassic Cast 3 logo, which looks like it's been which looks like it has some spray paint on it. Then then it's confirmed that this will be the final season of Jurassic Cast 3. which is gonna be a bummer since I really like this show. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.